Hey people, it's the 10th of July already. Still wearing RAF, it's like, just like you, most of you were not doing anything or were working at home, so it's kind of pointless to dirty up clothes unnecessarily. I'm not doing anything and I don't smell and anybody here, so same shirt. I'm glad that you folks watched. I'm glad you enjoyed. I will agree that watching it is a bit cringy for me because I'm just being myself. It's when I see what I look like, it's like, yeah, it's like a slightly embarrassing, but it's also that's who I really am. And do I have anything to really be embarrassed about? Do I? No. Do I really? Spell it out, because the answer is no. I have nothing to be embarrassed about. I did it again just last week at the Slowdown for a thing called the Essential Fest. I'm waiting to see when that gets online to see how I did, to see if maybe I'm a little less cringy. I tried to think about my actions more the second time. I've done this a lot, but you don't see yourself. You're just doing it. So I agree. It's a little cringy, but it's also very real. And that music is damn good, isn't it? I'm proud of my music. As you can see, I don't practice, so I can't really play. I can write it, and then I use the software to quantize and move the notes where they need to go, because I'm not a real-time pianist. But thanks for watching. Yes, it is cringy, but I have nothing to be embarrassed about. Nothing. That's really important to me to tell people who want to put you down or feed you grief. I see you coming, and I'm ready for you. And if you keep it up, I'm gonna hand your ass back to you on a plate. So, it's Friday. It's another mad week of coronavirus and just madness. But I got a late birthday present from Chris Cole. Got here yesterday, and I haven't played everything deeply. Obviously, he sent me a nice big package, but I really appreciate it, and I'll show you what he sent me. I also want to say, for a number of reasons, that Chris is one of many people who over the years have sent me multiple packages of music. I appreciate all of the music, but some people get me better. Some people have a more accurate vision of what I'm about than others. Chris is pretty close. No one knows me except for me. I mean, Chris and I have met, but does Chris know me? No. But his choice of what he sends me shows me he has a pretty good understanding of what I'm about and what I like. And some people send me stuff, and I wonder, why did they send this to me? I don't know what they're seeing, but it's like, that ain't me. So I'm going to show you in the order of the least hitting the spot to the ones that I'm really appreciative of. And Chris, you already know me. I'm honest. So here we go. So starting with the two weakest, and I'm going to just put it like that. The two weakest records in the box were these. Ezra Ngcukana. It looks promising at first. Then I notice it's on the Jive Jazz collection. Jive Records out of Arista. The name of the label is quite fitting. But then the second thing is, I don't think you played this, Chris, because it's warped. and the first track will not play. It bumps, literally, it bumps. But that's fine because this is jive. No, this is not what I like at all. This is that smooth jazz, David Sanborn type of thing that I do not like at all. So, that's going in the garbage. Thank you though, Chris. Okay. I need to be able to be honest. There's no point in people getting all upset and taking stuff personal. Oh, well, he sent you the record? How could... The record sucks, okay? Okay, the next one is... I know why you sent it to me, Chris. And maybe, eventually, I'll find the track on here that makes it worth it. But overall, this is pretty bland. Gil Piger, Jazzy Flamenco. I like flamenco. I love classical guitar. It looks like this was signed by the bass player. Chris, you're a master of the independent labels and small companies. So that I like about this, the fact that you just are really good at finding stuff on small labels of interest. So this is a keeper. First play of it was kind of bland. Okay. Now we start to move into stuff that's interesting. This one is it's making the right moves, but they don't have the talent. Kubist Tier. I've seen this record many times online. 20th letter of the alphabet. This is improvisation, working on the free jazz side of things. It's okay. There is no sparks here. The level of inspiration on this is low. I'm just really telling it like it is because I do listen deeply and I love all kinds of music. And I love this kind of thing. But these folks probably got better at doing this. This is tepid at best. No sparks. And the playing is just okay. And the thing that always gives it away for me is the drumming. When the drumming is weak or half stepping, it's like, and the drumming on here is weak. For what it needs to be to make that music pop, to make those ideas explode, it's not there. But thank you, Chris, okay? I think it's important to be honest, especially with someone like Chris who's been in my life for a while. Then the next one is like, I have another album by this band, but they don't do it for me. Black Sun Ensemble. This is ham-fisted. It's a mixture of East and West Lambent flame. I like the idea of what they're doing better than the way it comes off. But again, that's just my first impression of this, but I already have an album by them. And this is just okay. Thank you, Chris. It's better than sending me a whole lot of other stuff, okay? Now let's get into the good stuff, because he sent me, the rest of what he sent me, I appreciate it very much. And you're right on time with these choices. In the Black Composers series, Josh White and David Baker. We don't hear enough about black composers. Maybe you've heard of William Grant Still. David Baker is someone who's been involved in music production and music business besides being a composer. So I'm familiar with David Baker for a number of reasons. I really appreciate getting this for my collection, Chris. Thank you. It's significant. But musically, the Josh White Violin Concerto sounds like he's trying to please. It sounds like he's trying to prove something. It sounds to me like he's trying to prove to the white man that he can do it too. And that really comes through. So that's what that sounds like, okay? However, the David Baker Cello Sonata is jam-packed with sparks, emotion, and real ideas. So the David Baker side of this is just incredible. For you folks that have missed where I talk about avant-garde music and stuff like this, it's in my wheelhouse. I talk about that stuff. I've made thousands of videos though, but this is in that wheelhouse. Modern, contemporary classical music by black composers. The David Baker is excellent. I highly recommend you seek this out if that's the type of music you're into, is deep listening and high artistry. Really glad to get this one. It's been reissued many, many times, so this is a like almost a budget. Well, it is. It's a budget reissue on Everest Records of the Jean-Luc Ponty Stephane Grappelli Violin Summit album. This is a very good European jazz album. This is a very good Jean-Luc Ponty album. He's got great players on here. Philip Catherine and Andre Ceccarelli right away. This starts off awesome. It looks like it's going to be like a budget record. And like I said, it's on a budget label. But this is top quality jazz. This is a great album. And both Grappelli and Ponty, master players. Thank you. If you see this, folks, I'll bet you a lot of times you see it. I've seen it and passed it because it's just a crap nondescript cover. I like interesting covers. This is really good. Thanks, Chris. I love these, and I have a bunch of them, and I do collect them. Electronic music records from universities. This is from the first International Electronic Music Competition at Dartmouth College in 1968, and this is good. You do get the records where people are getting their grades blooping and bleeping, experimenting because it's all new. But every now and then, sometime someone really does something really good, and this is a good one. Side 2 of this one is excellent. The piece is by Pril Smiley, Joseph Malabek, and Bodan Mazurek. Excellent electronic exploration. I like that cover too. Elliott Carter. Okay, modern contemporary classical music. This is dense. This is I'll be coming back to because this one was like, okay, this is really challenging me. Elliott Carter's Variations for Orchestra and Double Concerto. This is deep, and it's challenging. I like a challenge. It was a bit much for me yesterday, but that tells me a lot. It's like, ooh, this is rewards to come. This is one I may talk about after I really absorb it. But killer, Elliott Carter, hell yes. Here's an artist from, I think, Brazil who I did not know about. Really wonderful. Nice. This is not smooth jazz, thank God. Roberto Sion. It looks like it could be maybe just so-so, or maybe like a light jazz. This is really good and interesting. The flute playing, the compositions, some of the harmonies used on here. This is very interesting, Chris. This is one of the best things you sent me, and I didn't know about this artist. Only thing I can say is I have one other album on this label, Som da Gente. Real nice surprise. This is fresh. I recommend this, not just jazzers or people who like Brazilian music. This was a real pleasant surprise. Robert Sion, however you say his name. Really inventive. Yeah, it was like, wow, this is not typical. It's what I love. And these last ones are just fantastic. Chris, thank you so much. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff I want to get. Penderecki's Dies Irae. It's water damaged, but the record's in perfect condition. Now, this one in particular I like for getting this version of Polymorphia. Now, this is deep listening. I've already, because I'm familiar with this, I listened to this yesterday, Polymorphia all the way through. Really enjoyed it. It's very slow and it's very quiet at first, but Penderecki was a genius. What he's doing with the sound is pulling you in. It's not, I didn't find myself waiting for something to happen. It's like it's pulling me in. Penderecki, De Natura Sonoris. I haven't listened to that yet. Fantastic, Chris. Thank you. Hell yes. This next one musically is on the light side, but I've been wanting a Gandalf record forever and you never see him in Omaha. I've got one CD with Steve Hackett on it. So very pleased to add a Gandalf album to my collection finally. This is New Age. It's on the lighter side of Vangelis. But it's musically, it has these parts where it's like, this is beautiful. But it has the other parts where it's just like, so safe it's kind of nauseating. You know what I'm saying? But To Another Horizon by Gandalf. Real happy to have a Gandalf in my collection now. Thank you, Chris. And these last two records are records that I've been wanting for my collection, literally. This one I almost bought, but I knew that Chris said he got me a copy. I've been waiting. Actually, when I saw it recently, I thought to myself, well, I thought Chris was going to send this to me. Well, he did. Charlie Mariano, Mirror, Mirror, Mirror. Sax player, I forget where he's from. He's a major player. If you don't, Mariano really needs to go in the same class as people like that we talk about. He's not on the same level as John Coltrane, but he's in that school of jazz musicians who deserve credit and to be listened to seriously because he can really play. And this is a very good album, and he shows his versatility here. He plays instruments from the Far East on here. The Nagasurum he plays on one. This is real good. Been wanting this for a while. Real good. Charlie Mariano. Real fresh. And then this one, thank you, Chris, because we've talked about this album. I'd never see it. I can't remember the last time I saw a copy, and when I saw it, I either couldn't afford it or I had too much already. Thank you, Chris. Icing on the cake. Coronarias Dance Visitor. Thank you, Chris. I've been lusting after this album for decades. This is another version of the band Secret Oyster, but this is the better. This is, to me, it's better than all of the Secret Oyster records. This is more on the free jazz side, led by Klaus Bolling, who can play his ass off. This is really, really good. Plus, it's on Steeplechase, a collectible, to me, a collectible jazz label. It's in perfect condition. I about jumped out of my chair when I saw this in the box, Chris. Thank you. Yeah, this is the type of thing I'm looking for. Absolutely. And the music is absolutely worth it. It's top flight. It's top rate. This is what this is trying to be. This is the real deal. This is half-baked. Chris, thank you so very much. And that's the main thing I want to share. I'm going to go social right quick and say this. I'm glad that the kids that I helped to raise are grown because we're dealing with mad people in the government. Their focus is wrong. I don't like to use the word right and wrong, but I am going to. They're putting the economy before life. They're literally really willing to tell us, put your children in this petri dish of schools because of money. If I had small children, they wouldn't be going back to school this fall. This is the dealings of a madman, a nut, thoroughly unqualified. Trump is thoroughly unqualified. You know, and just to show you just how crazy things are, Kanye West, with his bipolar, mentally ill ass, is getting all this traction about running for president. World upside down. People who are qualified to do the job can't get the job because people have become idiots from watching too much television. The cult of personality. Idiots. And then when I go out, I try to stay home. I sold that Patrick Gautier. I'm going to take it to the post office. But I'm seeing way too many people unmasked out in public. Too close. And these people aren't scientists. They're not scientists. They're not doctors. So why would I listen to any of their stupid complaints? They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Mad world. Mad world. It's a mad world. And I'm staying home and safe.